Hello all, Todd here with a new video about my two stories and what they mean. A little bit post-story function. And they're both horror stories, but they both try to harp or riff on modern problems without trying to be too preachy. I'm trying not to do that. I was trying to be as organic as I could, which again, this is an experiment. It is a trial by fire. And any comments, anything that anybody tells me, I'm going to take to heart. That's why I got outside. That's why I try to show more of my face. And I try to be better in my craft. This is what this all is to me, is an experiment. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket like I did with college. That was a mistake. I'm learning that now. Anyway, the first one was more of a riff on people not wanting to take control of their own health, their own lives. They don't want to better themselves for other reasons besides money. And I've never really believed in that ideal of bettering yourself for others. As selfish as it may be, I've always on the idea of yourself should be your own self-worth. You shouldn't have to get this way. Now, yes, you have to learn skills, you have to do this and that, but at the end of the day, it should benefit you above all. Because, I don't know, I really don't like the word sacrifice or noble or altruism anymore for a number of reasons, which I would like to get in some other videos, but I have touched upon it, but I really don't believe in that stuff anymore. And I'm just being to show that to light, that people are tired of being lied to. They're tired of being tricked. They're tired of being pushed around. They want to be control their own health. Now, I think a good number of people don't. I'm not trying to talk to them. I'm trying to talk to people that want to be in control of health. And again, my scope of practice being a nutrition coach is very small compared if I went to go be dietetics, which I might do that in the future if I can get enough support or enough incentive to. And the monster in the story was made to be an allegory for what happens when we don't get care of control of ourselves. You see, that's what happens when you have a problem. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the main character took it into his own hands, solve it the best way he could with a second opinion. And it's really one of those who's the bigger monster kind of stories, you know what I mean? Really the bigger idea of what's the real disease, what's the real virus, what's the real infection. And the answer wasn't doctors or the villains. It was our inaction to learn, to grow, to just blindly follow what we follow and wonder why we're so unhappy and unhealthy. And yeah, health is wealth. Health is wealth. Okay? It's not to be taken lightly. It should be an investment. Every time you eat a piece of broccoli, every time you curl a weight, every time you go for a walk, it should always be in the further growth of yourself. That's why I, on top of my degrees, have certifications and plan to get more. Okay? It's not about getting stagnant. It's about learning, about growing, about self-development. And I plan to put some more fitness stuff on this channel due to my degrees and my own passion, which, listen, if you have passion, if you have grit and resolve, that's really the X factor, I think, that I was trying to get at, where the main character cared, where the other ones didn't. He saw people, the villain saw profit. That's the main thing I was getting at. It's not good. Okay? I believe doctors and the like should be the last line of defense. Like, they always pick the pieces up that we're put ourselves together, you know? It's like, if you get a thorn in your hand and you don't want a thorn, why don't not get another thorn? And I really try to practice what I preach when it comes to an ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure. And these days, I think we're all learning how to prevent stuff better. I think people are waking up to the fact they need to be healthy, that they can't just push their problems. And I've seen a lot of people that had to sadly had to pass away to prove it, which is very sad. I hate to hear that. People that promoted obesity or certain practices that weren't healthy. It's not good. It shouldn't come to that, but people are very stubborn creatures. People are very stubborn, me included. And we need to be taught the hard way most of the time. Out of necessity, not choice. And I've been learning the hard way for a good amount of time now. I want to hear all the comments, I want to hear all the advice, all the tips. And I'm going to start trying to collab with people more because that interview really helped me unload a lot of things. Let me express myself without being too anything but honest. Because what's healthier than honesty? Honestly. And that was the main thing in my book. Truth hurts, but honesty is forever, or it destroys you if you don't care. Because diseases are honest, whether we like them to be or not. And this is what this story was saying. It's nature. And yes, I try to teach prevention. I cannot teach negation. Okay, that's a falsehood. You can do everything you can, and you're just lowering the risk of it. Okay. Oh, but I can't do it. There's nothing 100% in this world. Okay. Everything is pros and cons. Absolute are only used by people trying to sell you something. And a diet shouldn't be dogma. But it's another video I want to put on. We all have to know that. I want people to express themselves, be happy. But I don't want them to hurt themselves in doing so, you know what I mean? It's just fascinating to me how much people push around things and try to manipulate and change definitions, and that's not the way it goes. Again, I can't lie to my body. It can't lie to me, okay? I can misdiagnose something on myself. I can misread something, and that's how it goes. But now I'm just trying to help other people. Again, I have some little news around the time this weekend to tell you about and get out there and hopefully get some people on board. Because I'm trying to be a writer and also a wellness writer, a health writer, okay? Where I don't try to preach too much on health and things like that, but just to get the ideas going, get the imagination, the perception, look into what I'm thinking, raise empathy, which I think we need to do. That's my call to action. Be more kind, be more empathetic. Listen to other people. Don't be scared to. Only cowards fear questions. Only cowards. Anybody else should be willing to learn and understand, but I don't see a lot of that happening. So I'm hoping to get as many people as I can, no matter how big the number, to help them, to really make a change, to make a difference. As small as it may be. But I'm aiming for that. That's my point. That's my mark. And I thank you all for listening. Like, share, subscribe. Have a nice day.